What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in to the Uncommon Mindset podcast. Today, I'm joined by such an incredible person. Today, I'm joined by Terrance McKinney, aka T-Rex. Terrance is literally one of the most uncommon people that I've heard of. This guy has seen death twice and has overcome it, and is now a professional mixed martial artist in the UFC with one of the fastest knockout debuts. It's such an honor to be joined by you today, Terrance.
Yeah, man, the pleasure's mine, and I'm excited to get this going.
Oh no, thank you. Yeah, there's so many things that I want to touch on with you, but I think a great place to take this would be to take it all the way back. Can you just talk to me like about your upbringing? Like, what did that whole process look like, and where did you grow up?
I was born in Chicago, and then my mom joined the military, so I stayed with my grandma a while in Linesville, Alabama. And I always was scrapping. I was like the little runner of the group, so I had to figure out how to get crafty and be tough at the same time, because everyone was bigger than me, so I was taking my L's, But it made me tougher. And then I moved back in with my mom when I was like 8 or 9. We moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and then we moved to Germany, Frankensburg, because my mom was in the military. And then she married this guy that lived in Washington, and we've been in Spokane, Washington ever since.
Nice, nice. I know that you've got a background in wrestling, right? So I know that you've gone through, fights and things like that. But when was it that you realized that you wanted to start mixed martial arts?
I always had in mind that I wanted to like dabble in a little bit. A lot of people don't know I was kind of scared to go get in the cage. I ain't gonna lie, back in the day when I was like 19, I was like, I'm good at that. These guys really know what they're doing. I ain't trying to be whooping someone's ass and get guillotined. I told my friend, once I train, I'll do it. And like in a couple years after I got done with school, I was like, screw it, I'm gonna start fighting. I think I can really make this happen.
Yeah. I was watching that video that the UFC released. I know that a lot of people have watched that video, and I was like tearing up just watching it. Talk to me about the whole process. You don't have to go into it if you don't want to, but talk to me about that when the police found you, like, overdosed. Like, what was going through your mind then? Like, how did you overcome such a tough situation like that?
Just staying strong. I God was fortunate enough to bless me to still be able to end up going to school that year at a Division II college, where I ended up being ranked number 2 in the nation. So it was just like I just knew like I couldn't let that event define me, and it made me want to get just a cover story for an even better one. So it made me work even harder so I can put those memories behind me. And then I end up being ranked number 2 in the nation. Then I end up going to Notre Dame, and after that I started fighting. So really, it was just wanting to like prove everyone wrong. They already thought I was a loser. I was out there looking like I'm a crackhead and stuff, and I didn't let that event define me. So, and now I'm here. So I'm very grateful to God for that.
No, of course, man, of course. And I know that your mother's had a huge role in your success, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Do you think that having such a supportive like family member has done you good for the future?
Yeah, exactly. And also just trusting my mom, because when I was growing up, was not trying to hear any of the stuff she's saying. But like we all know, like once we get older, like our parents was always right. When we're in that one moment, we're like, fuck, I should have listened. Allah was right. And I see that all the time these days. I'm like, yeah, I
Yeah.
was right. From here on out, I tell every time I see it, it's like, from here on out, I'm just gonna do what you say.
Well, that's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. And I know that you've got a fight coming up now as well, against the Smile Killer. That's what they call him, right?
Yeah.
And I know you're supposed to fight him before, right? And that got cancelled. What happened then?
One of my corners tested positive for COVID, but I'm pretty sure it was a false negative, because like I seen him take pictures of the results like 3 times after that, and
Yeah.
they're all negative.
what was that? What was that process of, getting ready, weight cutting and things like that, and then hearing that, you can't fight? That must have been tough, right?
Yeah, it was definitely heartbreaking for sure, man. I was tearing up, man, just because people don't understand. Like, this probably the hardest I ever worked. I was running, I was doing my strength and conditioning, so I was just disappointed. Like, I was just ready to show the world like something different.
Yeah, and like I mentioned earlier, you've got one of the fastest knockouts in the UFC, and it was an incredible debut. I bet. Do you feel like you've got something to prove to people?
Not at all, man. Like I tell people, like I feel like wrestling really prepared me for like the atmosphere, being that guy that people's gunning out there. So like I never been that guy to get in the hype because like people taught me, like rankings don't mean anything, man. You
Yeah.
can be on the top of the world and the next day you're nobody. So like I just take all this stuff for a grain of salt and I'm just treating every fight like it's my debut at the end of the day. And that's how I know I'm going to see success.
Yeah, and I read this thing earlier. It was crazy. It's like out of your 11 fights or something like that, 10 of them hasn't gone past the first round, and you got like 4 fights where you finished guys under 17 seconds, I believe. That's
Yeah.
absolutely crazy, right? Because I do mixed martial arts myself, and I actually had my first fight a couple of months ago,
Hell
and
yeah.
yeah, it went the full distance, and I won, which was good. But I was so tired after it, and it would have been nice to finish the guy in the first round.
It's a different kind of cardio out there, scrapping that a high adrenaline event like that.
Of course, yeah. What's it like, having, in the gym that you're at, like, what's the atmosphere like? Is it like a family atmosphere? Because I know when you speak, you always say we instead of I, which is kind of fascinating.
It's just because I just know none of this is possible without my team, without God. And I just got to remember stay humbled, or God will humble you himself. So I'd rather just stay humble before I have to get put in my place. Same way my mom used to do it. I don't want God doing it, because God's different, he's a powerful being. He can give and he can take. So
Yeah, no, of course. What's your goals for this year now then, Terrance?
my goal is to be in the top 10 in the UFC before the year ends, and then just getting ready for a big fight next year that can put me in title contentions.
Yeah.
So like right off the year, I want to be trying to fight someone who's ranked 5th or higher.
Yeah. I know they say don't look past your opponents, right? And I know you've got a fight coming up in February 26th. Let's say it goes your way, hopefully it does. When are you looking to get back into the cage after that?
2 months, maybe less.
So you're looking to fight like four times this year, is it?
4 times a year, guaranteed. If all goes else, God is playing.
That's amazing. How's your camp going now for this fight coming up?
Good, man. I've been doing this extra stuff that I need to, kind of like this Rocky Balboa stuff, man, because I got a son on the way with my girl, so like it's just different motivation. I'm just trying to set my son up right, or my daughter, for the future. So it's just a different motivation out here.
Nice, man. Do you do any like mindset work at all?
Yeah, that's my mom. My mind work is good. She used to always tell me, those guys only won because you weren't there. She used to always hype me up. So like my confidence never was lacking growing up.
Yeah.
Even when I was defeated, she was like, man, these kids are wrestling their whole life and they struggle with you. So like she always was smart about like and strategic about how she hyped me up or kept me motivated. She's
Yeah.
like, yo, this dude's wrestled their whole life and they couldn't even get you out of there like that. And it just motivated me. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, the kid was the whole life and was struggling. That kind of stuff just pumped me up and made me want to just go even harder.
That's amazing, man. No, your mother's amazing, for just being there for you. Going through everything that you've been through as well. It's such a crazy story that when I hear it, I was like, whoa, it like touched me a lot. Is there anything that you tell your younger self if you could go back in time?
Yeah, just don't get caught in the hype, and more so like when I see success, just stay humble, man. Like there was so many times I was on top of the world, and like I told you guys, God had to humble me, man, and I feel like things are a lot different, because pride is the fall of all, it says in the Bible, and I was prideful a few times, and I just wish I knew about God a little bit stronger than I do now.
Yeah, yeah. Is there anything that that was going through your mind, when you was like in the hospital, when they took you to the hospital? I know I'm touching back on this because it's such a critical thing. Like, were you laying there like, I'm going to change my life? Was that going through your mind at all?
At first, my idea was like, oh shit, what the hell did I do? I was like, damn, I must have hurt someone back. I saw my hand, they're all swollen, all bloody. And I was like, damn, I'm probably gonna go to jail. So my first instinct was like, I gotta get the fuck out this hospital without these cops seeing me. I ain't gonna lie to you, brother. I was like, I gotta get out of here. So like, I like army crawled out of the hospital because they're all talking right there. Crawled on my stomach, did a forward roll into someone's thing, grabbed these clothes, put them on, snuck out the hospital, and then went home. And I found out all the stuff I did from my mom trying to figure out what happened to me.
Wow.
Because what I thought I was just tripping at home, laying down at this party, just tripping, and no, did a lot more crazy stuff than I expected.
Man. And like they say that you died twice, right? You died twice. Yeah. Is there anything that you see when that happens? I know this might be a silly question. Like, was there anything? Oh, did you even know that happened?
Yeah, I sort of, but not really, cause in my trip, like this star, like everyone was laughing at on me, but instead of like feeling me die, I feel like everyone on Earth died,
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Like, and I could see everyone on Earth dying, At first, like I was doing like this crazy thing with my hand, and I'm pretty sure like a Star David came out of the air, like gold with like a ring around it with like these words in it, but I didn't know what they said. And everyone was laughing like I was mean to tweak, and then this star comes out, and I feel like everyone on the planet Earth died.
That's crazy.
And then I'm like in at this like heaven pretty much place, and I'm like a god there. It was trippy. Whoa. And then I woke up at the hospital after I saw that, just at peace at this island in some armor of God, obviously. And then this trip, I like fought everyone to become like the most powerful being on the planet. And that's how I knew I was supposed to fight after that. I was like, God saved me, and I seen all this fighting stuff. I was like, I think I'm supposed to fight. And then after that, I dived in 100%.
Did you just drop everything and just focus on fighting then? Or were you still going?
I went to school one more time because I just know like if you win a national title, it's kind of easier to get like the Bellator or like one championship right off the way and be actually making good money instead of just waiting. So once I went to school, I found out that they wanted me to sit another year. So I dropped out. I was like, I only wanted to wrestle, like not be here another 2 years. So and then I started fighting.
Yeah, what did the process look like getting into the UFC?
So like I got a year and a half. I was going to continue series. I think I would have been in a UFC a lot sooner, but COVID hit. Yeah. So like and I had to have surgery anyway. So I just took like that whole year just to get right. Just worked out, rehab my shoulder, and just come back a new beast. And I, instead of like doing grappling stuff, I only did stand up throughout that whole year.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean,
like no jits, no nothing, strictly stand up. And obviously the sacrifice paid off. And as you guys see, we made UFC history. So enough said.
Everything happens for a reason. And
exactly.
Yeah, man. No, that's crazy. I want to ask you this question as well, Terrance. Is there any part of you that is like, I could go back to the lifestyle that I had before fighting?
No, I know I can't take any step back. Like I said, I got a good leader for my son, not just for my son, but my teammates, for my family, my brothers, and just know people are watching, so I'm trying to be a leader on and off the mat.
Yeah, I know you do a lot for the community and things like that as well, which is amazing, man. That's class. Is there any role models you had when you were growing up?
Yeah, I did. My coach, Sean Howard, Mr. Q, my teacher, when I was in grade school at Audubon Elementary, he was a cool dude. And probably my mom, and then Mike Cassia, and then Jamel Jones, Pablo Alfonso. I looked up to him a bunch, man. Like, the dude just one of the best coaches I had in a while.
Yeah.
The chemistry's just there.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. That's amazing, man. Like, just it's amazing just talking to you, and I wish you the best on February, and I know that you're gonna perform like you always do, right? It's just
killer be killed out there, man. I tell people like this, like, how many street fights you seen going 15 minutes? And when people really trying to kill each other, not trying to look pretty, the fight shouldn't go over 5 minutes. That's just how I feel. And I've been showing that. Like, if you really scrapping, I said, if I'm hitting someone as hard as I can for 5 minutes straight, they're not surviving. I tell my coach every time, I was just gonna try to kill this dude. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey, I've got my second MMA fight in 17 days now. So yeah. I'm gonna go in there with that mindset.
Yeah. And just, it's like people see me doing that, but at the same time, like, I'm calculated. Like, I might be aggressive, but I already trained this stuff like 1,000 times throughout the camp. So like, I be trying to tell people, like, you should already be seeing it. Like, I don't need no, hey, call this out. Like, no, we've been doing it the whole camp. I know the range. I got the partners that look just like this dude. We know what to do, man. So no need to wait and fill it out. Like, I already seen what he does. I'm gonna be on his head right away.
When like in your UFC debut, when you knocked him out in 7 seconds, was that like not a surprise for you then? Like, did you just like know that's gonna happen in a way?
I didn't think it was gonna happen like that, but I knew I'll be able to read him and time his kick and at least land in 1-2. Like, I didn't think it was just gonna KO him like that. Cause I seen this dude take a flying knee to the face. I was like, I knew I'd be able to knock him out, but not that quick, not at all. Like, but in 7 seconds, 7 days of creation, I just knew God was with me that night.
I know you got a bit excited as well. Like, you hit your knee, right? I was like,
yes.
Oh no! I was like, what's he doing?
Man, I thought I was about to be flying. How excited I was.
Yeah, no. I honestly, like, I hope the same thing happens again in February. I can't wait to watch that fight. I like I said, I wish you all the best, Terrance. Thank you so much for doing this podcast as well, for your time. Is there anything that you want to say to like your fans who are listening to this podcast?
Yeah, shout out to Warrior Camp. Shout out to my family, and shout out to God most importantly, man. And you gotta just keep striving to be great, man. And remember, if your dream doesn't scare you, it's not big enough.
I love that, man. No, thank you so much. Thank you, Terrance.